to it. My whole body's coming in. I have directional arming coming down. Punch, ribcage, collar coming in here. And then I'm going to step out. So I'm going in, taking the elbow, taking the elbow.
Is comfortable in our right lead. Okay? To practice that, we're going to practice I'll lay a right hand power grab. The right hand power grab is done this way with the right foot forward. That's why it's a power grab. Okay? Most people, 95+% of the population, are going to grab you with the right hand to get the right foot forward. Okay? Because that's their dominance. Okay? You want your stronger hand for that. What you're going to do is the same thing you did for the left hand. I'm not even going to worry about this right now. I'm going to smack in here first. Okay? So I smack, then I shuffle in and elbow this guy. Now I'm going to roll the knee, pop the pods, and step on the ankle. Now I can just trash him down with his foot pinned. He's going to break his ankle. I get to hop in the car, drive a block away, call the police about this guy trying to assault me. And if that ever happens to you and somebody tries to assault you and you defend yourself and you're successful, get away, call the police, have them call the ambulance. You'll be the first one to call the cops. Because most of the time, whoever calls the cops is assumed to be the victim because they call the cops. Most of the time, that's a reasonable expectation. But some bad guys are smart enough. If you're carrying a gun and there's two of them and they think they're going to jump on you, and you go, do you really want to do this? Now that's a smart move because they may go, ooh, and leave. But then they may call the cops and say, this guy brandished his gun to us to get you in trouble. So you need to be thinking about issues like that. Doesn't change what I do if it works, but that means that if two guys come up to me and they're, give me your wallet or we're going to kick your you-know-what. He's got a baseball bat and I pull this thing like so he can see it. And then they decide, well, maybe we don't want to do this, and they leave. I am going to call the cops and tell them just what happened. I'm going to beat them to the phone call. So you got to think about things like that. That making sense? Okay, so again, his power grab, smack. Now, I am not trying to get rid of this. I'm trying to destroy it. 1, 2. Now, if he's a little far away, I'll just move in, hammer in here, so I can hang on to him, buckle, left ball right side pocket or right ball left side pocket, whatever you want. Just think of it as pool. Follow or not. Okay? Number 1 is a downward descending forehand. Number 2 is a downward descending backhand. Number 3, a horizontal forehand. Number 4, a horizontal backhand. And number 5, a thrust. All right. After that, the rest of the counts, the Filipinos that were playing with this stuff said, okay, we'll make those standards so we've got a common ground for everybody wherever you go, and then we'll change the others to fit our needs. So after you do this, the one that we use goes from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 to 11 to 12 this way. So that was the way they were practicing it. Some will go up and up when they're doing in the 7 to 12 group. Others will do other things as well. Okay, now the Serrata Eskrima guys, yeah, they do this, downward descending forehand, backhand, but when they do it, it's more like a 12 o'clock line when they practice it. That's just what they do. Okay? But for them, oh well, we're still in the ballgame. You find everybody doing that everywhere, all kinds of little differences. But the idea is it's a downward descending forehand. I'm in a right lead. I'm in the lead, so I've got the range that I want and the power I want, so I strike here. When I do the backhand, I strike and then switch. From here, this is short, not as effective. So I switch and then strike, again, like you're fencing. Okay? But from this position, the backhand's fine, and then I make the switch. For 5, they go through and they thrust. So you see what we're talking about when the switch occurs? Okay? so they thrust. Now we changed the thrust a bit. They were doing it because in their days, when it was first put together, it was a sword. But if I'm doing it with a baton, I'm not gonna do this. He can't stop this one. It'll break your hand. But you can stop this one. You just guide it right out of the way without any pain. But for the street, for this to be effective, that's where I want to go. Oh, and so it's going like this, but it just slides right up. Okay, so that would be the difference in the application. So 1, right lead, right strike. 2, I strike and switch. For 3, I don't want to strike here. It's too short. Look, tell me if I change my distance toward Jim. No, but my stick did because I can add my shoulder. So now you see why you pick when you switch. So when you start off, you're already in a right lead. I strike, down. Second count, I strike back in, down, and switch after. Because that gives me more power through it.
After the strike. Yeah.
After the strike.
But the follow through is where you're switching on the
Correct.
follow through.
For 3, I'm going to basically switch and then strike. That's mine, but it's not my wife. Okay? Then for 4, I come back and then I switch. For 5, I want this guy to go forward, so I switch and thrust so I get the depth that I want. Okay? Then for 6, I'm going to do it in a defensive short distance way that I want it. 6. Okay? And then I'll go 7, 8, 9. This goes 10, 11, 12. And that's how you repeat. But you can see, just so you know, you'll be comfortable with it because I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to do this. That's fencing with the sword out here. You couldn't use this thing to cover because it's going to get in trouble. But here, oh, I can do those. And so you get comfortable switching as well. You're practicing in largesse. That's the whole idea of it.